Good day. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I'm at a very beautiful spot here, and I just wanted to come on. I was laying here and had a lot of thoughts today of just going through different things on my own path, and then really started to align to the work that I do on the other side and all I've learned with the work that I do on the other side. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a video and share. It may be very trigger warning, okay, for people, but it is for healing. If you can get through my message today, it is for healing you. It is for bringing you to a space to be freed from suffering. It is to give you information so that when you go to pass over, you won't struggle when you don't feel worthy of the pureness of light energy of what all things are of. And I've gone through thousands of hours of work with the other side, and I've been a part of the transition of changes that are happening through all dimensions. And it's why I have the information that I have. And it's not only that, you can see it in my work. With the testimonials of people just having one session with me with what I'm able to do. And I want to share and touch on that today, to bring healing. And, I'm just going to share what I share with everyone, when I start my session, of understanding the truth of who we are. And when we come into this plane of existence, you cannot be born evil, of pureness of evil. You can't be in the depths of hell, of what we call hell of lower vibrations, to come in to live life. So you are at a higher vibration on this scale of how we feel. And as you go up high on this scale, it's an abundance of love, joy, and happiness. And that is the truth of who we all are within these physical forms. That is the pureness, the truth of who you are. And, when you see children and we come in to live our lives, you can feel that so-called inner child. You can see and feel that in children. Even if one ear is bigger than the other, they know they're perfect. They know they are so worthy of just everything that will come to them. They know their pureness of who they are. And what happens is, as we go through experiences in life of not feeling worthy or good enough, okay? So if you go through experiences of being bullied, you start being bullied at school, it starts to lower how you feel of not feeling worthy or good enough, separating you more from the truth of who you are, of knowing the perfection of who you are, of so worthy of love, joy, and happiness. But then you start going through experiences of others causing you to separate away from the truth of who you are. And then you go through experiences, whether it be at home or whatever, of all the different forms of abuse, okay? Sexual, physical, verbal, mental, abandoned, not feeling worthy or good enough because someone abandoned you, or you never had the opportunities that some of the other people had, and you don't feel worthy or good enough. What actually happens here, and it's because I've been gifted to see the energy that's around us at all times, is that our inner body of light energy, the being of the truth of who we are that leaves these physical forms when our lifetime is over, of learning, growing, and evolving here, how we feel shifts through the dimensions, and there are always beings around us at all times. There's always a dimension that we're in at all times. And it all scales on how you feel, of how you're feeling. So those moments when you go through experiences of not feeling worthy or good enough, it lowers how you feel, and it lowers to the other dimensions of those that are suffering in those dimensions. And if you're in the depths of fear, of just some experiences that I lived through as a child, when you're in the depth of fear, the beings around you are those suffering in that state of fear. And what they're able to do when you lower to these dimensions, they get in the way of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So the part of their light consciousness, the aliveness of thoughts that are created within that light being, they're able to attach a piece of their light onto your light being within when you've lowered to their dimension. And they will stay a part of you all throughout life. So as you go through life, you have this buildup of energy that is not yours, that is causing you to suffer because they are suffering on the other side, and they cause you to do actions of harm to yourself or towards others. And you're also repeating experiences that are left unhealed, that you haven't healed from, of not feeling worthy or good enough. and those energies are a part covering the pureness of light energy of who you are, that has completely separated you from the truth of who you are, of being so worthy and so perfect, and feeling that abundance of love, joy, and happiness have been taken away from you. So it's through life, you have to go through experiences, and it will eventually bring you to starting to work on your experiences of not feeling worthy or good enough, on however that unfolds for each person. And when you start doing the healing work, it's removing these layers, and it's bringing you back to the truth of who you are, the pureness of light energy, of an abundance of love, joy, and happiness. And what ends up happening on the other side, because I've been a part of the transition of lower dimensions of healing, that is why I have all the information I have, and you can read in all the different testimonials that people, leave for me. I get all the information from all the work I do in healing souls on the other side. It's why I can do what I can do on this side. And where did I had squirrel? It was a plane that came over me. But for the souls that are suffering on the other side, what happens is we go before the pureness of all that is. And when we go through the pureness of light energy, of an abundance of love, joy, and happiness, the frequency and vibration moving so fast through us, of that feeling of that blissful pureness of heaven on earth, or heaven within, of feeling that, they didn't feel worthy because they never had the opportunity to understand that because they were not healed from what they lived through, which was never their fault, there was no healings in place for them. This is not your fault, even for the person listening. It's not your fault for the experiences of harm you've done to another. You never had the opportunity to have the healing that was necessary to free you from your suffering. And then you also have to have the desire and want to reach out for help as well. You have to have that. But they never had the opportunity to have the healings that were necessary. And it's passed on generation from generation to generation of not having the healings that were necessary. And it's freeing them with understanding that they never had the healings that were necessary. They had a lower energy that was a part of them, causing them to suffer. If someone were to have healed the energies that were attached to their light being, they would have been at the truth of who they are. They would never have done this, the harm onto others or to themselves, and they suffer on the other side. And yeah, so we've been with the higher beings that I work with and myself, because I'm in a physical form, being fully awoke to the truth of who I am in this physical form that moves through this physical form today. I'm able to do the work that I came here to do, to remove these layers of vibrations of those that suffer on the other side, because they're getting in the way of the humans or souls that are coming to live this human experience, and causing a lot of it with suicide, people trying to commit suicide. And I know this might be triggering for someone, and I want to bring healing to you in this moment if you have lost someone to suicide, because I lived through 12 attempts starting at the age of 12. I was never allowed to leave this plane of existence. There are things that I've done that the doctors did not believe me that I did, of having minor strokes and having different things, and I was healed the next day. My physical body was healed. But it's understanding, if you've ever lost someone, or you know someone who has lost someone to taking their life, I want to give you the truth of why this is happening, and for you to release any layers that may be a part of you that you've held on to, of not feeling worthy or good enough, whether it was a friend or a family member. You felt that it was selfish for what they did, and you hold on to these feelings of not feeling worthy or good enough on some level, on however you can relate to it. It's understanding the reason why the person took their life in the way that they did. They were a sensitive being of light energy. They had a lot of attachments of souls that suffered on the other side. And because they were not given the opportunity to heal, that this world has not had the opportunity to have this wisdom and knowledge of, to start freeing and making changes here, that is the only reason why they took their life. The person will never understand how another person took their life, because you are not that soul that vibrates and is that frequency of energy to have held on to that suffering of souls that suffer on the other side. As soon as I healed 50 beings that were attached to me over 2 years ago, the high council, the highest beings of light consciousness, took me and showed me. And as soon as I removed all 50 beings of deep suffering of when I suffered, I've never suffered since. I've never had any issues since. And this is how I'm healing people in my life today with depression and going through these different states that they go through, as I remove these energies that are causing your soul within to feel. So if you do have someone who has passed, understand they were going through something that you will never understand, even though if they were healed from the energies that were causing them to suffer, the truth of who they are would never have taken their life. They never had the opportunity to heal the energies that they were very sensitive to, of suffering through dimensions, caused them to take their life. This is the core truth to why people are taking their lives. There's lower energies that you cannot see, that I have an understanding for, and it is why they've taken their life. And again, I know, because I lived through 12 attempts and I've died my last attempt, and gifted with coming back to my body to see energy that's around me, because I had to learn and grow through my suffering of all different forms of abuse, of not feeling worthy or good enough, of trying to take my life over and over, the separation from the truth of who we all are within these physical forms that I was separated from, feeling that pain and suffering. And I've done the work throughout my life. And ever since, thousands of hours of work I've done in 3 years through dimensions, doing the work that I do to give me all this information, to be able to free souls that suffer on the other side and this side. So I just wanted to make a video. It's a beautiful day. I don't know if I showed, but it's beautiful here, out here today. I just love coming out here and sitting out here by myself and just being in pure presence of nature, not within any thoughts within the human mind that we come here, that we're gifted to have. It's a space I typically don't live in much anymore. I'm always present and just being grateful for the things that are around me each day, because there's going to be a time none of this is going to be here. The people that we have in our lives aren't going to be there anymore. It's going to happen in a blink of an eye, and you're going to end up wishing you could have done more or been more. And I have these understandings so that I don't live in that space, and I can share the truth of my life. And there is so much more that is going to happen for me in my life, so I can share and give back, because I do not have any fear. There is no part of fear of the essence of who I am within this physical form to not share, because it is to bring healing, so you don't have to suffer in your life anymore, and to find forgiveness for those who harmed you. And it's just having boundaries of energy, as we learn, and that's a whole different topic I won't get into. I've been on for 13 minutes now. But it's beautiful today, and I just wanted to make this video to connect with someone who may need to hear it, because the truth is we all need to hear it on some level, because there is going to come the time you will be before the pureness of light energy, and you will judge yourself. And I am giving you the tools and knowledge to understand how to forgive yourself, so when you're in that moment, you will be able to pass through without holding on to any forms of suffering. And that is what I am here to do in this lifetime. And I'm very grateful for it. So anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and bye for now.